My name is Paul Branch. I work with the Central American Theological Seminary in Guatemala City. I'm also the General Secretary of ITAL, which is the Association of Evangelical Theological Education in Latin America. So I work with a seminary in Guatemala City. We have students from some 25 countries, but I'm also working with a group of theological schools that number some 150 in Brazil and all across Latin America, all the countries of Latin America. So what I'm trying to express to you is I'm thrilled to have a resource to be able to put in the hands of schools that are looking for ways to give better training in the area of missions. Another thing that theological schools, they're often invited to open up extensions and other programs in places that they just don't have the resources to do it. And this life school is something that a school like ours, not only we could use it on campus, but we can promote it widely to the churches that we serve, and it can just be used, as we would say, I'm from South Carolina, we would say here, there, and yonder, just everywhere. In the churches, these schools don't exist in a vacuum. The theological education exists to serve the church. So we have wide contact with churches. Just SETECA, we have our student body comes from some 30 different evangelical churches and denominations that we serve. So I am excited about the opportunity to have this excellent resource and to be able to put it in the hands of the Latin American church. And I'm excited to be able to also put this resource in the hands of others who also have a wide circle of influence. And again, Latin America for a long time now has had a very rich gospel testimony, and by no means are all of our neighbors believers and disciples of Christ. There are still people who need to hear the gospel. And I'm excited about the way Live School can help with that, but I'm very excited as well of the way Live School can be used to equip the local church and to equip Latin missionaries to be used of God anywhere in the world where He would want to send them. And I will tell you this, in Latin America there is no lack of vision. Latin missionaries are often trained and they don't go very far, and it's not because they have a limited vision, but a lot of times it has to do with the lack of resources. And so it's great to put a resource that will help them be adequately equipped, a resource that will put them into contact with others who they can work strategically in teams. Missionary retention has a lot to do with that. There are a lot of people who sense a call to missions, and a lot of people, there's no training available and they just go. And in some cases there's very minimal training available and they go and they do the best they can. And sometimes people are successful and they endure, they last a long time in the field, and a lot of times people come back for lack of training, for lack of resources, for lack of support. And so I see Life School as being a very strategic tool to be able to better equip Latin American missions for the world, the mission of the world, cross-cultural mission and ministry all around the world, not just in Latin America. So that excites me.